What's up, party people? We finally have our head coach, but it looks like JJ Redick was not actually hired for the reason that a lot of Lakers Nation, including myself, assumed he was hired for. So, without further ado, I'm Jaya Tewari, and let's get right into the reason he was actually hired. So, it looks like JJ Redick is going to play an important role in player development on the Lakers and be making some important changes to our general rotation. But hey, I am guilty of pushing this narrative as well. I think a lot of us were really thinking that Redick being hired was really just a way to get LeBron to stay on the Lakers and make sure that he doesn't opt out of his contract this summer. Obviously, everybody knows about their relationship, their friendship. They have a podcast together that is old news. And although LeBron can say that he didn't have a say in the coaching search as much as he wants to, we all know that is a lie. I'm sure part of the reason why Redick got hired in the first place was because of his friendship with LeBron and to slightly appease him. But after actually multiple sources were talking to him and after hearing him in interviews, he has a vision for the Lakers that is much grander than just letting LeBron do whatever the heck he wants on the floor. So, multiple sources with direct knowledge of the meeting described Redick as impressive during his visit to Los Angeles, diving deep into his offensive and defensive philosophies and displaying his passion for the sport that foreshadowed a willingness to submit himself to the countless working hours for the modern head coach. So let's talk about that for a sec. That is no surprise. We know he's got a lot of grit. He played incredibly in the NBA and he has such a high basketball IQ. His passion and love for the game was never once in question, but it's great to have that confirmed by people who have actually been witnessing him interact with the Lakers. But more importantly, let's look at the second half of this report. So Redick explained his decision-making process when it comes to strategy, how the analysis and empirical evidence will always guide his choices, rather than preconceived notions or outdated beliefs. Redick described a system modeled around this roster, focusing on elevating Anthony Davis's involvement, particularly late in games, and alleviating the constant ball handling duties on James by utilizing him more off the ball. Keeping James, who turns 40 in December, fresh down the stretch of the regular season and into the playoffs will be critical. So something I really want to touch on there is JJ's use of analytics. I think this is a really exciting angle to be going at from a head coach. Obviously, with our last coach, Darvin, he was really just making decisions and rotation and planning his rotations just off of vibes. And whichever players he for some reason wanted to put at the forefront of our game that day, I'm talking to you, Taurean Prince. But it just makes no sense that we weren't looking more into some of the data and analytics when we have all of that information available to us. And I'm really looking forward to how Redick is going to kind of implement that into his coaching style. But more importantly, he said that he's going to be utilizing Davis more, especially later in the game, as part of that analytic strategy. And this touches on a really important point that I've talked about in a lot of my past videos, in that this head coach, who we were going to hire, is going to be more of an AD coach than LeBron's. I know we have not had a coach last more than 3 years since Phil Jackson, so we'll see if JJ Redick actually lasts past the projected next 2 years that LeBron will be playing. But it's really important that he's talking about Davis already, because assuming he does last the entire duration of his 4-year contract, he's going to be primarily coaching and focusing on Davis more than LeBron for the second half of his coaching contract. So it's really important that he starts to think about how Davis is going to integrate more into the team and step up as a leader on and off the court. So this general sentiment and statement about Davis really made me feel happy, and really I think showed that he's not just focusing on LeBron and what he can do with LeBron on the floor to make sure LeBron is as happy as can be. So I really like that he's looking forward to using other players. And speaking of some of those other players, we have this incredible statement from Austin Reaves' agent as well, coming off of the news of the hiring. This coach, as in JJ Redick, is about to show a different part of Austin's game none have you seen. Keep receipts on all that third superstar BS. Great hire for LA, going to be a big year next season. So clearly, a lot of other players are very happy with this decision. Austin Reaves and his agent think it is a great move, and really think that JJ Redick can really develop AR as a player. Not to mention, they can be token white boys together on the team. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how JJ kind of implements his own playing style and his own experience from the NBA into coaching some of these players and just elevating their game even more. I also love that his Austin Reaves' agent wanted to pretend that, or want to rewrite the narrative that Austin is a third superstar and can actually be more than just that, especially once LeBron retires in a few years. It's really going to be on AR and AD to be carrying our team. So I'm really excited to see Austin Reaves step up and grow even more as a player, and looking forward to what JJ does with that. But it looks like not everybody in Lakers Nation really shares the same sentiment as me. So Magic Johnson, in his usual tweeting whenever he thinks, with no social media manager style, had this to say about JJ Redick. I'm cautiously optimistic that this new hire is a success for both the Lakers and JJ Redick. I enjoyed watching him as a player, great three-point shooting, high basketball IQ, passion for the game, and mental and physical toughness. If he can bring how he played professionally to the Lakers, this could work out. But will his transition from star basketball player to head coach end up like Steve Kerr, Jason Kidd, Ty Lue, or Doc Rivers, or the former NBA players turned coaches who weren't successful? So this is Magic's kind of typical wishy-washy, but to me, it kind of seems like a dig at JJ. It's not really a secret that Magic really wanted Dan Hurley to be the coach, and it seems like he's not really feeling this decision. So I'm curious to see how Magic kind of comments on JJ, even during this upcoming offseason and summer league, and if his feelings start to change towards JJ, because from what I've seen, everybody on the current Lakers roster, as well as most of Lakers Nation, is very happy with this decision. And then moving on to some other news, it looks like LeBron James is opting out of his Lakers contract, but this isn't exactly in the way that, or I think this isn't exactly in the way that it appears. So, NBA Central reported that LeBron James is expected to opt out of his deal with the Lakers, per Dan Wojcicki of the LA Times. And the coaching hire is the first step in an offseason during which the team is facing crucial roster decisions, particularly with James. James is expected to opt out of his current contract, although the sense is he'll re-sign with the Lakers. He will be an unrestricted free agent if he declines his player option. So basically, he's going to opt out of his contract, but probably re-sign with a longer contract, or with just a higher paid one. So him opting out of his contract doesn't really mean much. It just means he's probably going to re-sign with the Lakers. I don't see him leaving anytime soon. I've never once thought LeBron was going to abandon us. And he's going to stay, especially since we're probably getting Bronny in the next couple of weeks. And now we have who is very likely LeBron's preferred head coach. There's no reason for him to be leaving anytime soon. I'm sure he might even just add more years to his contract. That's what I meant by longer contract, especially since Redick signed a 4-year contract. Maybe LeBron is actually going to stay past 2 years. Who knows? But either way, nobody freak out about him opting out of his contract. It's not a big deal, and it's not something we should be freaking out about. LeBron is here to stay. He is going to retire as a Laker, and I firmly believe that. So, with that being said, I've been Jaya Tewari with Lakers Digest. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. We post new Lakers content every single day, from breaking news to trade rumors, to, I guess now the head coaching search is over, but we're making a ton of content around that. So really, we're just covering anything that comes up within Lakers Nation. So, once again, I will see you guys very soon.